Generations Bank has been serving the financial needs of the Finger Lakes region since 1870. Generations combines the best of modern banking with dedication to the local community. Visit them at mygenbank.com. Generations Bank, member FDIC, and equal housing lender.
Welcome to FLX Weekly here on Wednesday, June 26, 2024. I'm Jim Sinacropi, live inside the FingerLakes1.com studios in Seneca Falls. And Catherine Chase is back from the Cayuga Lake Wine Trail for another edition of Wine Wednesday. And we'll be tasting a pair of summer sippers from Cayuga Ridge. But first, this episode of FLX Weekly is brought to you by Lincoln Hill Farms. Get ready for an epic 4th of July at Lincoln Hill Farms. Enjoy live music from Rockstar Academy and BB Dang. Meet the friendly goats, shop local vendors, and play some lawn games. Cap off the night with a stunning fireworks show under the stars. Bring the family, your lawn chairs, or picnic blankets, and make a day of it. Want to upgrade to VIP? You'll enjoy a barbecue buffet, private cash bar, free parking, a DJ, and s'mores by the fire pit. Very limited tickets available at LincolnHillFarms.com. Don't miss out. Head over to Lincoln Hill Farms for an unforgettable Independence Day celebration. Again, that's LincolnHillFarms.com. And also the Perfect Pair Eatery, quality carry-out cuisine in Seneca Falls. Everything is made fresh with in-house smoked meats, cheesecakes, and marshmallows. Check out their unique menu of comforting creations, sure to please the entire family for lunch or dinner. Order online at perfectpaireatery.com or call 315-712-4004. And look for the yellow door at 64 West Baird Street in Seneca Falls. So last show of June, the last day of June is Sunday, as we head into the dog days of summer, although it's certainly been kind of doggy day-ish the past week or so, but it's cooled down a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit.
And welcome back, Catherine.
Thank you.
How's your month of June going?
It's been hot
Yeah.
and quick.
But
Yep.
school's out?
School's out. Yesterday was the last day for Romulus. So there's some students today.
Tough for the kids, though, you know, when it gets this hot. Were they doing half days or anything when it got...
Just their regular schedule. They didn't cut back or anything, so...
Well, we did cool down a little bit. My daughter's graduating from high school Friday.
Oh, okay, cool.
Forecast looks pretty good so far, knock on wood. 79 degrees, and the ceremony's at 7, so it'll probably be cooler.
79 does.
Finger Lakes One will be live streaming the Minders Academy graduation ceremony, commencement, I guess they call it, starting at 7 o'clock on Friday. And congratulations to my daughter and her friends, and also all the kids across the region. Are not really kids anymore, young men and women graduating from high school and starting their summer vacation. But June 28th is kind of a late date for graduation.
Yeah, South Seneca graduated last Friday evening.
Yeah.
Then the elementary at least still had classes.
Yeah, well,
Today's their last day, but...
June 28th is kind of cuts the summer short, too, especially for these kids that are going to college. My daughter's leaving mid-August.
August, yeah.
So, but great weekend on tap here in the Finger Lakes, and you might be looking for some ideas to take on the boat for drinks or to pair with your barbecue. And you brought a couple of good ones from Cayuga Ridge that we'll taste in a moment. But first, a little background on Cayuga Ridge Winery.
Yeah, so today all about Cayuga Ridge. They couldn't join us. They're jack of all trades, so they're at the winery. So I'll represent them today. So Cayuga Ridge was originally Plains Vineyard. Plains was one of the founding members of the wine trail. Mary Plain was the mastermind behind getting the other 4 wineries together to form the wine trail. Wow. And in 1991, the Challenge, Tom and Susie, bought Plains, changed it to Cayuga Ridge. Tom had been working in Ontario, Canada, doing various wine industry things, and he had the dream to raise his family in a rural setting. You know, I don't know the details, saw that the winery's for sale, and decided to move his family of 5 here. And so
1991, so are they out of the house, involved in the business, these kids?
So his youngest, I went to high school with his youngest.
Oh.
He has 2 olders. They do various things, not not necessarily within the Cayuga Ridge. His youngest son is a vineyard planter. He has a vineyard planting business.
Wow.
Where he does GPS planting up and on the East Coast.
GPS planting.
Yes, so it's exact, precise planting. So all the rows are perfectly even and spaced. I'm sure it's a really interesting and very long conversation to have.
Yeah, maybe he can come next time he's in town. Maybe we can get him in.
It would be an interesting show, I'm sure. But he has got one of the only machines on the East Coast. So he goes up and down planting the rows to make them perfectly straight, perfectly even, which is cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
So he's in the industry. And their oldest daughter, they used to have a copper oven on site, and she used to run their wood-fired pizza.
Oh, yeah. It's Cayuga Ridge, Thirsty Owl.
Right next to each other. So they had the copper oven. It was right outside. You could see the copper oven. Yeah,
great pizza. No more pizza, though?
What's that?
They don't do the pizza anymore?
They do not. They haven't for a few years. She had moved on to, I think, just, tending to the family. So.
Yeah. So it's
check my notes, make sure I didn't miss anything. So, yeah, Tom has over 50 years of experience, and he's a jack of all trades. You'll see him out in the vineyard. He's in the tasting room, sometimes begrudgingly. He'd rather do the science stuff. In the vineyard, he's in the cellar making the wine, bottling the wine. His wife, Susie, is in the tasting room. She's getting stuff for their gift shop. They have a really awesome gift shop. But you'll also catch her in the cellar bottling, too. She helps Tom out there.
But they've been, 33 years now?
Yeah.
Geez, that's
They've been
great.
doing sustainable practicing for 33 years. They're estate grown, so it's all their own grapes.
Which I love. I mean, I think if you're going to be the real deal, and for various reasons, wineries have to bring in grapes sometimes. But
just to get another kind sometimes.
But it's pretty cool when it's start to finish at the same winery.
Yeah.
Same property.
And I forgot in the car, I had little tasting sheets of theirs. They only have 10 wines, so they're really small. And she had said that they're pushing the term micro winery, but a micro winery, like a microbrewery, is a winery without wine equipment, which isn't true. They have all their equipment. I would use the term boutique winery. They're small batches, limited quantity, limited release. So they really focus on, so what we have here, there's not going to be a lot of it. Because everything's estate grown. They're not buying grapes to supplement to get more cases. It's all what they have is what they have, which is really great and really unique and really distinct to their property. They are not found in liquor stores either, so you can call them for shipping or just get it right in the tasting room.
Really?
It makes it exclusive.
Well, we're lucky enough to have some of the
we are.
exclusive Cayuga Ridge wine here. What are we drinking today?
So the first thing that we're trying is a newly released Cab Franc. It is unoaked. So without the oak, it's much fruitier, and it won't make it as heavy. So when we're hitting those 90-degree days, we won't have the tannins of the. It won't make it as tanniny. The tannins are red, but the oak won't be as heavy. So
very simple bottling too.
Yes, very simple. All the labels are distinct to their brand with a little fleur-de-lis design. Yep, and they've used the same one, so. When you see Cayuga Ridge, you see Cayuga Ridge. They haven't changed their labels, which is great. So they have that element.
I do have a few bottles of Cayuga Ridge in my wine cellar that have been aged. Geez, some of them I bet are pushing 8-10 years. Might be time to pop them open. But unoaked Chardonnay. So what you're saying is without the oak, it's a little more fruit forward?
Yeah, a lot of the times the oak is more in the forefront of your flavors and even the scent profile. So by removing that, it's not going to be as heavy of a red or even as dry. It is still dry. There's no residual sugar, of course, but to me, a dry oaky red is a heavy red, as one would suspect a Cab Franc to be. But,
I can
I just took a sip and it's not overwhelming my mouth a lot because it doesn't have that oak.
I haven't sipped it yet. I've been smelling it.
I'm not a huge
berries.
Oak lover. I'm trying to get there, but when it's hot and you love dry red, I know you love dry red, this is kind of a good compromise to go the non-oak route, so it's not so heavy.
Hints of berries and currant on the nose.
Currant, how sophisticated of you to smell that.
Well, let's have a sip.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, light and dry and fruity.
Yeah.
Fruity without being sweet.
Right, but still Cab Franc.
Oh, yeah. And
still distinctively Cab Franc.
And certainly, a great wine for a warm summer day. If you're gonna look for a dry red wine on a summer day.
Yeah, it's a good I've used the term, I can't think of it now. It's kind of a good beginner red in a sense, if you want
excellent.
to explore dry reds, because it's not so heavy, like a Cab Sauv or an oaked Cab Franc.
Yes, it's great.
It's really nice. It's got a great color too.
So Cab Franc is becoming like the hot Finger Lakes offering lately.
Yeah.
And the climate, I suppose, is good. A lot of these vines too that we're planting, like these guys have been around since '90, or they bought the winery in '91. I don't know what vines were there when they got there, but certainly a lot of these vines have become more mature throughout the Finger Lakes, and Cab Franc, Buttonwood makes a good Cab Franc.
Yeah.
There's a lot of good Cab Francs.
I can't think of the year, but Knapp planted the first Cab Franc.
Oh, really?
At least on Cayuga Lake. Which is a fun fact for you to store away for your Finger Lakes wine trivia. Which I'll have another fun fact for you coming up soon.
A wine trivia episode might be a good one.
It would be cool, yeah.
Have to put that in the bank. We've only done Wine Wednesday about 300 times, probably.
Right.
So. Yeah, geez, I really like this. Cabernet Franc.
Yeah. And they do have an
They don't
oak
mention
version.
They don't mention on the label.
No. It's just on their tasting sheet.
Mm-hmm.
And they do have an oaked version. So when you're there to do a taste, you can do a side-by-side. So you can taste the differences, which would be neat to try. But I wanted to feature these two new releases for this year. So you'll have to go and try to taste the difference.
Yeah, I might do that. It's a beautiful spot for Cayuga
is.
Ridge, great view, and you mentioned right next door to Thirsty Owl, so you can go to for one, you can walk from one to the other. What do you say about probably 200-yard walk, maybe?
I'm not good with numbers like that, but sure. It's the only two that you can walk to.
Right, you can park once.
You can park, yeah. And something cool about Cayuga Ridge, they partner with an organization called Harvest Host. So if you're an RVer, you can actually reserve and stay right on their site.
Wow.
Yeah, they have a little hookup spot for RV, so you can be right by the vineyards and stay there, and it's really unique if you're an RVer, which is cool, yeah. So the next one, and you can keep sipping the Cab while I talk about this one. This is their newly released 2023 Riesling. But what's really cool about this Riesling, so right in front of their winery, the first vineyards that you'll see if you're like at the tasting room are about 3.5 acres of Riesling vines. These were planted after they bought the property, so they bought these vines from Dr. Frank, hand planted them. They didn't have their fancy GPS machine yet.
Right.
They hand dug up old vigneal vines, trellis, wires, and all, hand planted these Rieslings, and they actually made them a little wider, the rows, than typical, which allows them to have more space, a little bit more sun and air can get to them. But so back in about 2010, Tom was telling me, they entered a German competition with their Riesling from those rows. It was called the New World Riesling Competition. So Germany thinks they have the best Riesling, and they make the best Riesling, just like we all think that, right? And so a New World Riesling to them is a Riesling from anywhere else. So in this competition were U.S. wines, South African, New Zealand, etc. And so this competition, it doesn't have gold, it doesn't have silver, it doesn't have bronze. It has one winner.
Wow.
And so Cayuga Ridge was the winner that year.
That's amazing.
It is awesome. So they have a sign that says winner of the New World Riesling. And I've never understood what that meant until Tom called and told me about this morning. And so the reason that we're trying today is from that block that made that wine, which is really cool. And it's every 2 years. And so the winner prior to was from Washington, and they entered that year, and Cayuga Ridge beat them out that year too. So
That's great.
That's your other fun little fact for
Well,
Finger
it's
Lakes
always
wine.
great when Finger Lakes wine
Yep.
gets international
Absolutely.
acclaim.
Yep.
And obviously Riesling has been like the star of the Finger Lakes internationally. But we tasted the Cab Franc. That's starting to become more popular. But interesting, the labeling is almost exactly the same except for the name of the wine.
Keeping it simple.
Riesling,
Yep.
I like that.
Yep.
So let's try this Riesling.
So this is they coined this a bright and vivid Riesling. So it's up to us to see what we taste.
Mineral on the nose.
You're like, I did it with the current. I can't do it anymore.
And how is this? Is this put in oak barrels or?
Oh, this is a semi-dry Riesling. It's 1.25% residual sugar. It is unoaked. It's a classic semi-dry Riesling. I don't find it overly sweet at all. It's a little fruity, but not much. I get a little floral hint to it.
Extremely light. Extremely
very
light.
light.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Which
This is very drinkable, which is dangerous.
yeah, this is
It is very light. Yeah, very refreshing.
This would be great out on the boat. Or would pair well with anything you're grilling.
I wish I could
Just you're
pinpoint what
grilling
I
some
taste.
seafood.
I'm just not that good.
Huh?
I wish I could pinpoint more of what I taste. I'm just not that good. But like I taste a lot of things, but I
Yeah.
just can't like extract those flavors well. But it does have more of a floral note versus a citrus to me.
Touch of vanilla?
Do you get that? Vanilla?
Yeah, I can taste
Okay.
the floral notes.
right. I
It
needed that validation.
it doesn't, it's not grapey, if that means anything. But yeah, it's clean, crisp,
Yeah, absolutely.
vivid, and bright.
It's a little acidic. I did the chewing of it, and I can feel it up here, which means it has some acidity, but not highly acidic. I like acidic Rieslings personally.
Yeah.
So I like it, but it's not like overwhelmingly so.
Yeah,
This is a Riesling I could drink a lot of.
Yep, you could easily
Not to brag.
easily put back 2 or 3 glasses of this, and not have a headache.
No, because 1.25 sounds kind of sweet, but it's not. It doesn't have on my tongue that much sweetness at all. Not at all. This is really light and good. I
Yes.
barely ever finish my glass on the show, but I probably will.
That's my problem is I do finish my glasses on the show, and it's 11 a.m. on a Wednesday, and it kind of
Yeah.
sends the rest of the day off in a different direction.
Well, I had to try this new World Riesling winner.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's pretty impressive, as you mentioned, that
Yeah.
in a competition with so many,
Other regions that are so diversified.
right, that our
Yeah, climates.
little Cayuga Ridge Winery on the shore of Cayuga Lake,
Right.
takes home the top prize. That's
It's like an
impressive.
underdog story, which would have me crying if it was a movie. Absolutely.
Well, maybe we can buy the rights. We'll have
Right.
to talk to them.
But Cayuga Ridge is a really cute little winery. You just have to go there to see it. They have a
True
great
family
spot.
business, too.
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, Route 89.
Yep. Right off Route 89.
Interlake? No, it's
It's
north.
Ovid,
Well,
yep.
north. Ovid.
in Ovid, yeah.
Ovid. And again, Thirsty Owl Winery's right there. You can see.
Hosmer's right there too. It's right in that cluster of wineries.
Yeah, so you have to. It'd be a long walk from Hosmer. Not totally
It's
impossible
like
to do.
0.3 miles.
Yeah.
It's really not that long. You have to just be ambitious.
Right.
But it's not far. Buttonwood, boom. Cayuga Ridge, boom. Thirsty Owl, Hosmer. They're just right next to each other, just minutes apart. So that's what I call like the little cluster of wineries. You can get there quickly from all of them.
Yep, and a beautiful spot on the lake.
Yep, right by the water.
Huh.
Yep.
Well, that was. I don't know. I'm not.
Reaching for your red wine or anything.
Yeah, I don't want to say that I'm not a Riesling guy because, with the right type of food, I do enjoy a Riesling, but I'm more red, and this Cab Franc is something that I could drink daily.
Yeah.
It's great.
No shame in that.
And we mentioned summer sippers.
Yeah.
These are both.
And it's light, like a Pinot Noir would be light. Like Pinot Noirs are light, and so that's more on the light side, I think. Not quite as light, obviously, but it's not a winter red. It's not heavy like that.
Right. Yeah. No, I
You drink it
would.
in the winter, but
Yeah, I think it would go good with a pasta, a spicy pasta, maybe. Maybe not with a steak, but with a barbecue, chicken, or it for me in my mind that with this Cab Franc, I'm picture drinking it with anything on a smoky grill. I think it would be a great compliment.
like a smoked brisket.
Yeah, smoked brisket would be good with it.
I don't have one to give you, but
Perfect Pear Eatery in Seneca Falls does a great brisket.
Oh, okay,
Their
cool.
brisket sandwich is unbelievable. So maybe stop by Perfect Pear, and then if go on the Cayuga Lake Wine Trail, head down to Cayuga Ridge, bring home a few bottles.
Yeah.
Like I said, I have Cayuga Ridge bottles at my house that
Cool.
have been sitting, and I do have to wonder what something like this would take.
How well they age.
Yeah, what it would taste like in 5 years.
And the labels are going to look the same too, which is cool.
Yep.
They don't have the vintage on them. So
No,
you,
I know
You
they
won't know
don't.
how old they are unless you remember when you bought them
Right.
or wrote it on there.
Well, good stuff. Cayuga Ridge Estate, definitely a star of the not only the Cayuga Lake Wine Trail, but the region.
Yep.
Great story with husband and wife Tom and Susie moving from Ontario, Canada,
Yep.
raising their family on the farm,
Yep.
building this business and sustaining it for over 30 years, 33 years.
Yeah.
It's great stuff, and really, if you're wine tasting, if you're going across the region wine tasting, is interesting to me is tasting the individual wines and seeing what's different at each winery and learning about how they do it. Is the stories of the properties and the owners and the families. Everybody's got a unique story,
Yeah. Oh yeah, totally.
and it really is great in the fabric of the wine industry here in the Finger Lakes. It's really something, and it continues to grow. And so, yeah, definitely stop by Cayuga Ridge Estate this summer when you're out and about. And, like I say, walk to Thirsty Owl, hit up Hosmer.
Yep.
Some restaurants nearby, too, right? Trying to think of...
In Interlaken, there's O'Malley's down on the lake.
yeah, and I've heard that they've done a lot of...
They have new ownership. The Cayuga Shoreline owns it now.
Mhm.
That's right next door. So they have new ownership. They've done a ton of changes, tons and tons of changes.
Yeah, a friend of mine and his wife went there, maybe, 3-4 weeks ago, and they couldn't talk enough about what a great time they
Yeah.
had and how great everything was. So,
Yeah, I haven't gotten there, but I want to, just to see the changes.
and that's one of the places you can also arrive by boat,
Yes.
which
yes.
is nice.
Which is nice without having to go all the way down into Ithaca to go to the Boatyard Grill, because that's a haul. Then there's obviously Thirsty Owl. Then there's Knapp. Between the lakes, which they're still carry out only.
Hmm.
But they have the brisket you could have with a Cab Franc.
Yeah, they have amazing brisket as well.
Wolfie's is there by the lake. They're also boat accessible. That's really it along 89 without going up into one of the towns.
It's one of the wine. I can't remember the winery.
Well,
They-
Buttonwood has a food truck too. Yeah.
Oh yeah, Buttonwood's always and they're really kicking into gear.
Oh, yeah.
Fridays and Saturday
Once July
nights
hits,
especially.
they got that going. Yep.
There's a winery that they'll take you up top. You'll park your boat, then they'll come
That's
and pick you
Thirsty
up
Owl.
in an ATV.
Yep. Thirsty Owl will.
Oh really? Okay.
You can walk it. It's a little far, but if you call them, and they have a big sign right at their dock,
Yeah.
just call them. They'll come down with a Kubota and bring you up.
So yeah, with Cayuga Ridge and Thirsty Owl, I mean that's a whole afternoon if you want, right in one spot. You
Oh,
can
yeah.
park your boat or come by car.
Yep.
So I'm trying to think of maybe when I have a free Saturday to maybe go do that. But
I know summers fill up really quick.
what's going on this weekend now that school's out? Anything? Little League baseball?
Yeah, we're doing travel baseball.
So you're traveling or you're home this week?
Nothing this weekend, and next weekend is the Cooperstown tournament.
Go all the way to Cooperstown, huh?
Yeah,
Well, Cooperstown's fantastic.
yeah, it'll be fun. But
You
it's
ever
for-
been to Cooperstown?
Yeah, the director before me went to Cooperstown, so I visited her.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
But in 8th grade, I went to Cooperstown on a field trip
Huh.
with the whole class.
When I went to school at Syracuse, we used to go in the spring to Cooperstown because a lot of my friends were baseball fans and had never been because they were from out of state. And from Syracuse, it was about a 2-hour drive, maybe a
Yeah,
little more.
it's 2 hours from here, so it's
Oh, it's got to be
yeah,
a
it's
little
only 2
longer
hours
than
from
that.
here.
2 hours, really?
yeah, it's not far.
I don't know why. I
Sounds
thought-
far, but it's really not. No.
And Great Village and Obviously, Baseball Hall of Fame.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Nice golf course there, too. But so that's next weekend,
Yep.
Cooperstown.
Unfortunately, it's 4th of July weekend, too.
Anything going on the wine trail this week for the last weekend of June?
So tomorrow night there's music at 6 Mile Creek. There's also Naughty Summer Nights at Lucas where they have music and a food truck. Saturday afternoon there's music at Knapp. There's yoga at Hosmer on Sunday. Once July hits, then Buttonwood has Friday night music, Saturday afternoon music, and then Hosmer has Sunday afternoon music.
Yeah.
So we're kind of tiptoeing our way into it, and then we'll have much more going on once July hits.
I know 680 Cellars is doing a cellar tour. I don't know if you've seen that.
Yeah, I think they do something monthly with that.
Yeah, you need reservations, but it seemed like it was a pretty cool idea.
Yeah, I'm sure, yeah.
So yeah, a lot going on.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Cayuga Lake Wine
Always
Trail
something to do.
website has all the events. And yeah, we're really kicking into gear here. School's out for summer.
Yep.
Graduation for, like I say, my daughter on Friday at Miners Academy. A lot of kids have already graduated. More this weekend. Congratulations to all the grads. And Catherine, thanks again for bringing me wine on Wednesday
You're welcome.
morning.
You didn't finish your glasses either, so good job.
Well, I'm not, there's still time. We continue drinking after the show. So we'll see you next month in the end of July.
Yep.
And thanks everybody for joining us today. If you enjoyed the show, click like, share, and subscribe. We'll be back next Wednesday. Until then, have a great final weekend in June here in the Finger Lakes.